Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Onset Hero, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Pass it on to somebody else who might peep it. And drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And don't forget to stick around because when I'm finished with this video, at the very end, I'm going to shout out a couple of people who left some really cool comments. Okay? Stick around to see if you're one of those people. Alright, so remember I told you guys I had to kick this child to the curb the other day because she was acting stupid. So somebody asked me, did I feel comfortable enough revealing what was the meme, and it turned out it was actually a tweet. What was the meme or what was the tweet that made me get it, that made her snap and me have to kick her to the curb? So I said, yeah, sure, because I really like this tweet, and I think a lot of people extremely took it out of context. Where do you hear it, okay? This gentleman's name is Anwar Douglas. I looked him up on Twitter, and it seems like he's some kind of businessman, you know. He looks very together, African-American gentleman, and I don't know anything else about him except for that. So this was his tweet. Now, he made this tweet on March 31st, and this tweet has since gone viral. I've seen this tweet on Instagram, Facebook. I've seen it over and over and over again. I've seen this tweet, and I've also seen people who have revised his tweet, and you'll see that here too. So Anwar's original tweet said, if you don't come out of this quarantine with 1, a new skill, 2, your side hustle started, or 3, more knowledge, you never lacked time, you lacked discipline. So she saw this and thought it was disempowering and snapped out. Now, her and everybody else I saw on his page that was riffing, a lot of people got very upset about this. This triggered a lot of people, and I'm gonna tell you why. When I saw it and I looked at it, I said to myself, first of all, reading and comprehension is really important, people. One time, not even one time, many times when we're in school, they test us for reading comprehension. I was told the last time I was tested was in the 90s. Now, mind you, I'm older now, so it might not be this good anymore. But at that time, I comprehended 98% of what I read the first time. So I think a lot of people just don't comprehend what he's saying. A lot of people don't read a lot, so I don't think they really get it. Because people think he's saying that you have to spend all of your time during this quarantine learning a new skill, starting to hustle, and obtaining knowledge. And that's actually not what this says. If you listen to it again, and some of you already peeped this the first time I read it, he said if you don't come out of this quarantine with one of those 3 things, you never lacked time, you lacked discipline. So he's not saying that you need to do something or not. What he's saying is that you've been lying to yourself. You've been lying to yourself all of this time. And you've been saying, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. When in reality, you always had enough time. It wasn't about the time. You could have made time. You could have carved time out. And now you have a surplus of time and you accomplish nothing. That says that you lacked discipline. It was never about the time in the first place. So when I saw this tweet, like when I see anything else, the first thing I ask myself is, how does this pertain to me? Because this does pertain to me and it doesn't pertain to me. On one hand, I'm already a very disciplined person. Every day I work on 3 different jobs. I do my English classes, I do videos, I do readings. So I'm working from 4 a.m. to like 5 p.m. on those things. Then on top of it, every single day I give myself 30 minutes for prayer and meditation. So I've already, over the years, I wasn't this disciplined as a young girl. Over the years, I've already done that part. So that part doesn't really apply to me. But the part that does apply to me is that I do lie to myself sometimes about time. And it's one particular area that I do this, my artwork. I write poetry and I paint pictures. But because art is something that doesn't have a deadline, I always say I don't have time to do it right now. I'll do it next weekend. I don't have time. I'll do it tomorrow. I don't have time. So it takes me like 6 months to do a painting or finish a painting. I haven't wrote a poem in years. So it's like I keep lying to myself that it's not enough time. When the truth is, I watched 3 seasons of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina over the weekend. 3 seasons. Each episode is about 60 minutes. There was 11 episodes in one, 8, and then I think 9 in the last one. Over the course of a weekend, anybody out there that's good with math, you can add up how many hours that was. It only takes me 2 hours to do a painting. So I'm not lacking time, I'm lacking discipline in my art. So when I saw that, did I get angry? Did I get triggered? Because he hit me like, yo, you full of shit. You had the time, you full of crap. Did I get angry? No. I was like, you know what, Anwar, you're right. I'm not disciplined in that area. And I told myself, and this is the thing, you don't come across something like that and then beat yourself up about it. The first thing I thought was, what can I do with this information? Well, number one, I can stop telling myself that lie. I need to stop saying, and I did stop saying, I don't have time. Now, lately, I've been saying, I haven't made time yet. Just that twist in the wording is a lot more honest, number one. And number two, it keeps me from feeling disempowered, like you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, okay, well, keeps me from feeling bad about it, because it's like, you may lack discipline in that area. He's 100% correct, but that can change. Just by changing how you think about it is the first step. So instead of feeling bad about it, I told myself, just change how you think about it. So in the future, when it comes up in my mind and I think, can I make time for this? Instead of, I don't have time for this. The truth. So Anwar really is just calling people to check their self on what really is going on. If you come out of this without any one of those 3 things, it's not a death sentence. It's not the end of the world. It's just showing you something about you that you can tweak if you choose to. A lot of people say the same thing. They don't have time to work on their business plan. They don't have time to learn a new skill. They don't have time to read a book. They don't have time to learn something they want to learn, some knowledge they want to learn. But he's saying, if you had all this time, it wasn't time that you lacked in the first place. So that's the first aspect of this. Now, the other aspect of this is that this does not go for everyone. And I heard him say, or I saw him say in his tweet, he said, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. This doesn't apply to a lot of people. And I'm going to tell you who those people are. If you think about it, common sense will tell you, he implied it in the tweet. He just didn't spell it out. The only mistake he made is he could have spelled out this aspect a little bit clearer for the people in the back of the room. But in my opinion, that was the only thing that he could have did differently. People were still going to be mad about the tweet. And he's not talking about certain people, and certain people chose to interject themselves in it. He said, if you come out of the quarantine. So that's taking into account that you had quarantine and you had time. Everybody's not going to fit in this. Who doesn't fit? People like me. I'm working every day. Nothing changed in my life since this quarantine. I was always working from home. I always went out once a week. Nothing has changed for me. So I'm still working that much, if not more, than I was working before. So I don't have extra time to come out of this quarantine with a new skill, even though I do constantly read. So I am going to come out with more knowledge, but I don't have extra time. He's talking to people who have time to waste, time to kill, who've never had that time before. He's also not talking about retired people. If somebody is retired, I heard a girl say that she was retired. I'm like, nobody's expecting you to come out of this with a business plan and you're retired. Like let's use some common sense here, you know? I was like, duh, nobody's expecting that from you. You ain't got nothing but time. You got all the time in the world. You already have time. Nobody's expecting that. This is for people who don't normally have time. So scratch off. He's not even talking about you. Number two, I saw a lot of parents, a lot of mothers. I ain't see too many fathers. I saw a lot of mothers riffing in his tweet. And I'm like, well, again, you don't have extra time, especially if you're an essential employee and you have kids. You don't have any extra time. You're not even quarantined. And if you have kids and you're not an employee, let's say you just have kids and you're just home all day, you still don't have extra time, because guess what you're doing? 9 times out of 10, if you're playing the game right, you're homeschooling. You're taking care of your children. So you don't have any time. You might be able to squeeze some or carve some in here and there, but this ample surplus of time is not going to be had by parents. They're going to have to wait till the kids take a nap or go to bed or something like that. They're not going to have all this extra time to learn new knowledge. Nobody's expecting that. And I like how he said, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. It doesn't apply to any of these people. Number 3, essential employees. If you're an essential employee, you ain't got no extra time right now. You're still going to work like I am. So that is something, that's another person who definitely, another group of people, I'm going to say, who definitely this does not apply to. So why are you going to put yourself in something that it doesn't apply to you? And then get right nasty with the brother when he is trying to tell you something to help better your life. Then people who still working, that's me, still working every day, don't have extra time. Number 4, people who have extreme circumstances. So people, for example, I'll give you one example. One of my friends, I told you about one of my clients whose uncle died. So right now, she's going through trying to figure out what to do as far as the funeral is concerned. It depends on what state you're in. She's going through all of that right now with her mother. So right now they're trying to figure out what to do. She don't have no extra time. She has extreme circumstances and more important things, apparently based on this vibration, that she's going to have to worry about. So who's expecting her to come out with a new skill when she's planning on burying her family member, when she's trying to hold together her mother, when she's trying to comfort her grieving father? Nobody's expecting her to do anything but exactly what she's doing. And even if somebody was expecting it, she ain't got to pay it no mind, because she is doing what she's supposed to be doing. She doesn't have extra time. Like I said before, she's doing something. Every day they're doing something to do with this situation and getting bad news and worried about not being able, like, you know, the last time I talked to her, she was like, I don't think we're going to be able to have a funeral, and she wasn't sure about a number of things they were supposed to be doing. So she was dealing with that. And number 5, people who are sick are those who are caring for the sick. Again, you don't have extra time. Sick people might have extra time, but not the health to be able to do it. Somebody taking care of somebody who's sick, especially if they're very sick, might not have the time either. They might have time to read books or something like that, but they might not have time to focus on writing a business plan or taking a class or something like that. They might not have that kind of time. So like I said before, all of the people who I saw bitching in his tweets was people that this is not even talking about. These people don't have extra quarantine time to rebuild their shelves. They don't have it. So if it doesn't apply, let it fly. And the last part, somebody took the tweet and changed it. So they wrote, if you don't come out of this quarantine with a skill, your side hustle started, more knowledge, you are doing just fine. We are going through a collective traumatic experience, which is true. Not everyone has the privilege of turning a pandemic into something fun or productive. Stay healthy. Now, first of all, anybody who has time on their hands, somebody who has time, somebody who's chilling, somebody who has extra time and space, they do have the privilege of turning this pandemic into something productive. Maybe not fun. I don't think Anwar was saying it would be fun, but they do have time to turn this pandemic into something that is productive. That is bad advice, number one. Number two, they do need to stay healthy. We all got to stay healthy as much as we possibly can. But the other aspect of this is how. How? They don't tell you how. Stay healthy. How? How am I going to stay spiritually, mentally, and emotionally healthy if I don't focus my mind on something productive? I'm going to talk about that tomorrow because this video is getting long. Now, let us read my favorite comments. All right, so let's see. What's the first one? The first one came from Jay. Let me see how we say this name. This name says, gotta make it bigger, Jay Noor. Okay. And let us see what Jay Noor has to say. All right, so Jade Norris said, hello, Queen. I hope you and your daughter are doing well and keeping safe. This virus is definitely bringing out the ugly in some people. Over here in the UK, I've heard of a few people who have been killed by their partners. This is awful. Since the outbreak, I heard that this year, being a leap year, has a heavy influence into people's energy in a negative way. I understand the fear, but acting out is not going to change what's going on right now. I really do like what she had to say. It's sad. It's really sad to hear some people have lost their lives, but I'm not surprised because, like I said in yesterday's video, a lot of people are being very cruel and very irritable and very nasty to the people who are closest to them. So again, like I said yesterday, please don't do that to people. That's not going to change anything. It's only going to make it worse. Then she said, thank you for continuing to create and upload content. Please stay safe. Much love. Sweetheart, thank you so much for your comments. I'm definitely going to stay in this apartment. I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to do my best to stay safe. Thank you so much. And I'm going to also do my best to keep on uploading content that is helpful and hopefully positive. Then Jackie Zivna, she said, let's see, she publicly subscribed to me a week ago. This is so cool. So she's new. Welcome, Jackie. Everybody, welcome, Jackie. Jackie said, I picked the 5 of Wands for today's daily card. How appropriate. The 5 of Wands has to do with conflicts. So right now I said that people are being nasty. Some people are being nasty, having conflicts, things like that. And she picked a card that represents conflict. So yeah, that card definitely fits today. Jackie also said, you are cool. Only saw first video of yours last week. Love your laugh. Subscribed. Jackie, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for being here. That is the most I can ask. Thank you. And that was our last one. So guys, if you would like to get a reading done, please email me. If you want to hit me up, I'm on social media. All my information is underneath this video, my email and everything else. And come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you tomorrow.